Hello, it's just me so far. I don't know where my friend Chichi is. So I figure I start without her. Hey, Lizette, what's going on? And anybody else joining us so far? I've been communicating, making sure she has the link and everything and the right day. I've been advertising all day so she knows I'm here, right? So hopefully she'll jump on. As you jump on, say hello. Hello, Lori. What's going on? Sierra Gal style. What is going on? Hello, hello, hello. Lori would totally be perfect. Lori, I'm starting an over 50 chat. I would love to have you on. The first one is scheduled June 25th. And yeah, I don't know where Chichi is. So what's going on, Lizette and Lori? And let's chat. Terry Lynn, Thomas Tucker, Pasha Dude X. Yes, my guest has not arrived, so it's just me. You just get me. Oh, Lori is sitting out in the sunshine. That's right, you're in Seattle, so it's nice and sunny there. You're 3 hours behind us here on the East Coast. And so I'm just going to start off. My girl Chichi was supposed to be coming on with me. Chichi, I met her at Posh Fest. She and I are actually going to be collabing on a couple things. And so that's going to be pretty awesome. Terry, I didn't know you were over 50. So I'm going like, okay, so send me a DM because it's going to be June 25th. It was a suggestion. Last night I asked people if they had any suggestions, and one of my friends sent that suggestion. She's like, you're missing your own demographic. And I'm like, you are so right. So definitely, I wish I can get C on here. Hey, boss C. But C is usually busy on Thursdays, right, C? I'm starting an over 50 chat. I'm glad everyone's jumping on. I don't know where Chichi is. I know last time she came on, she was having some technical difficulties. And so that's why I created this night for her so that she and I could talk. We actually just Zoom chatted on last week. So I know she's doing well. She's been commenting all day, but we're here and I'm just making sure. Okay. So yeah. And happy cow thrifter. Hey, Amy from Newark, Delaware. I know I'm throwing all your information out there. Oh no. Everybody's like getting to know each other. Lori's like, hi, Lizette. Hi, Thomas. Then we have Terry Lynn here. We have Dresden Avenue. Who is that? Hello. Hello. So yes, Thursday isn't good for me. I know you're almost 60, C, and I know Thursdays aren't good, but Thursdays are the best days for my chat, and I already have people locked in. So we're going to have you on another day, maybe just you by yourself, maybe on a Wednesday, because you're here tonight, so Wednesdays appear to be good. So on June 25th is going to be my new over 50 chat. And it actually is booked for that first day. And it won't be the same people consistently. I'm going to start doing it once a month. So anyone who is over 50, you can, send me a DM. And then on the next one, I'll add you to that chat. And so that'll be great. But I just got confirmation. I'm only going to have 5 people in addition to myself. You can only have 6 people on a chat. Yeah, see, because I have the brown girl chat, which is every month, and then I have so far the Spanish ladies, and then now I'm going to have the over 50, and then I'm going to probably introduce the men. I have to see how I feel about that. Nothing against the men. Hey, men. I don't know where Chichi is. She gonna have me calling her. What is going on? That is really interesting that I think Chichi is forgetting me or something. We can't have that. So anybody have any questions for me while we're on? It's so weird because I don't have anything planned just for myself, like any questions or anything else. It's like live on Instagram. So if anybody has any questions, put them in the chat. I'm going to search for Chichi and see if I can find her. Because we can't have her not. And I know I sent her the right link. So I'm just making sure that she's on, You won't tell. What won't you tell Andrew? Anybody have you can't be unforgettable. No, definitely not C. So what's everyone been up to? Have you been sourcing? have you been going out? I saw a lot of people today who have been going out and hitting the thrift stores with their masks on.
Hey there, this is Chichi.
Okay, Chichi has given me, I don't know. So it's just going to be us. So tell me about like your sourcing, what has been going on. I know everybody jumped on because they wanted to see CC. And she's not here. Chichi, I'm sorry, CC. Chichi, and it's just me. So you have Leslie today. Hopefully you'll stay on and we can have some conversation. I keep looking because my stuff keeps popping up. So tell me, who's been working on tie-dye? Who likes my tie-dye? Who's working on some crafts and doing something other than, is she in a different time zone? No, she's not in a different time zone. She's in Atlanta. So she's been commenting all day. So I don't know what happened. I sent her, sometimes I send the wrong link out, but I just confirmed that it was the right link instead of having 20 links up at one time. So I'm getting things lined up and prepped for being down for a few weeks. Where are you going to be down? Are you getting your knees or something done? See? What's going on? Hey, Melissa, my guest has not arrived, so it's just me. You get me today. So she hops on, but right now we can have conversation. I'm asking everyone what's going on. There's Nikki. Hello, Nikki. Chichi has not arrived. And so Lori, let me put Lori up on the screen. I love your tie-dye. I'm into bleach dyeing, so fun. Yes, I have tons of bleach also. I actually have some. I don't do them on the same day. I do it one day and then I tie-dye a couple days. And then so I ran out of dye. I just ordered some online at Joann's Fabric. And I'm going to go to Walmart and get some in a couple days. Joann's Fabric, I'm doing a curb pickup. And then I'll go to Walmart because everyone's tie-dyeing, so they're sold out. I was buying all my dye off of Amazon, but Amazon sold out. They're on back order, and I don't want to wait for back order. So I'll just do curb pickup at my local Joann's. Plus, there's more colors that I didn't have before that it's not available on Amazon. I don't use dye kits. I use actual RIT dye, which is the bottles. And that way it goes a little bit further than getting the kits because you run out faster. The kits are just to kind of get you started. But I like bleach. I have tons of bleach certs. That's where I started, Lori. And then I did some more. I just put some down in the basement because you can smell bleach all in my house. Let me see. I just saw something here. Yes. Well, thank you, Lizette. It says you got, so you got yours. So, where's your story? I sent out 3 shirts on Monday. Nikki, did you get your shirt? That would be so awesome. Yes, because I sent Ashley order. I really want to thank the community because the tie-dye shirts are selling. A couple people ordered yesterday. So it's a beautiful thing. I thank you so much for the support. And let's see. Terry Lynn is sharing right now. You're sharing to Poshmark. Who's been using the copy listing feature? That's been a game changer for me. I'm a relister anyway, and I wasn't ready to invest in any type of listing service. And so the copy listing feature has been great. One thing I want to tell you, if you've never thought about it, I've always relisted for parties. So if you're participating in a party, not the nighttime party, you can do that if you want, but that takes more work. But if you're participating in a party like the Adidas party, the Nike party, then what you can do is share all your items. I share it to my followers. I don't share it to the party. And then I go in and I slowly copy and list, use the copy and list feature and relist. And then when I relist it, then I share it into the party. And that was a technique that I used before we had the copy listing. And that way it's like just in and you're sharing it to the party. And I usually make sales. So today was Coach. I did the Coach party. So it was Coach. I had Michael Kors. I had some Cole Haan. And I had a couple other things that I forget within that. So I copy and listed every single thing. And so that's a strategy that I've been using that really makes me good money. So Thomas says he went to the shoe guy and got some nice stuff. Yeah, he likes to share. I know it was some. Did you go to the shoe guy today, Thomas? I can't wait to see what you have. I found some pink Vans down there. See, I keep checking for Chichi. Yeah, I think she forgot me. And so Nikki got hers. Yes, I'll be picking up from her dad's house tomorrow. Yay. Nice. I love it. Put it out in your stories, because the one that you got and the one that Lizette got, 10% of that goes to the NAACP. We want to support and give back to the community. So just share it to your stories. If people buy it, the link is in my bio. When people buy, I instantly I add up to $100 at a time, and then I send it to the NAACP. So I thank you for your support. Let's see. Uh-oh. So you weren't photo ready. Okay, I totally understand that. I'm not always photo ready. So like those tie-dye shirts today, I was like, I'm admitted, I didn't have a bra on, so I fanned them out, and it actually turned out better than I thought it was. And I was like, good, it's covering me up. So that was the key. I wanted to get a photo, but I didn't want to put like a shirt on and, you know, a bra like I do now. So see, yes, you were talking about this earlier. She says, yes, I noticed the cell similar feature today as well, which is, you mean the reposh feature? That is something that Relove used to do. So if you were on Relove, and the feature I liked it on Relove is that if you reloved it and someone purchased it, then you would actually get a commission from that sale. So reposh, for people who don't know, an item that you have sold before, it can be reposhed. And so if you, an item that you purchase, so if you purchase something and it doesn't fit or something like that, then you can reposh it. And reposhing it actually puts your whole listing up there, and you can change some things in it. You can change some photos and things like that, but you don't have to do the whole listing again. So that's what reposhing does for you. So if you get a pair of shoes that are not your size, and I think what that's going to help is going to cut down on people giving bad reviews, hopefully, that they have the ability now to go in and reposh that item. And so they can just leave you alone and not give you bad feelings. They can just reposh it and maybe sell it themselves. So that'll be awesome. So Thomas says, Macari is just letting sellers move their photos. Yeah, so they're going to catch up. That's Poshmark is trying to get onto a lot of things because of the times. Manish talked about that. He has some other surprises that are coming that he hasn't discussed. So plus, all the new things that are available to sell. Has anyone seen that? You can sell shampoo, you can sell skincare. These are things that were not allowed to be sold. So now you can sell shampoo, hair care, facial care. You can sell, I still don't think you can sell fingernail polish because you're not supposed to be doing that anyway. But now you can sell games and toys and dolls, action figures. There's a lot of things. They added some more things to the men's category. So I would definitely go in, check out Poshmark blog. Poshmark blog, just Google it and it brings up everything. If you are a Posh ambassador, you should be receiving emails of all the updates almost every single day. Sometimes it's a pain, but it's great to read your emails. Just like C was saying, she missed the reposhing, but that was in an email that they sent us out last week, C. So that's not what you're talking about. Then what are you talking about? Where is it at? Because I can pull it up. So it's on Poshmark and you're saying sell similar. Talk about that a little bit more. See, does any so Amy said, I was looking for Thomas at the bins. I don't know if he's been since Monday. He went on Monday the first time and he was saying that it was a little bit different. Thomas, have you been to the bins? He's downstairs. I'm in my office. Thomas, have you been to the bins since Monday? On Monday, he went to the bins and he went to a couple resale stores. Retail stores. I'm not ready for that. I have enough stuff. I sourced some stuff on ThreadUp. I have some vintage bags coming. I have some things that I purchased from Jomar. So I've been very creative online sourcing and I'm selling these tie-dye shirts and stuff. It's just been beautiful. So I'm happy and content. I literally don't have to go to the thrift store for a long time. I really prefer not to go until I move, but there's a couple of vintage spots that just started revealing themselves to me. So I think I'm going to hit a couple of those places. Let's see. It says, okay, I'm gonna go. So I was in sold listings. When you click on it, it asks if you want to sell one like this. That's the reposh feature, I thought. So you went into sold listings. Okay. So that's the new one then, see. Mine doesn't have that yet. So it's probably hasn't rolled out to everyone. I do know the reposh feature, which is if you make a purchase, you can reposh it, but I don't have that. Has anyone else seen that? See, she did mention that today that there's a new feature, and she said, "What is the feature called?" See, I don't have that on mine. I'm pulling it up now. So maybe if I refresh the app or something, let's see. It says it doesn't. Let me see. Wait a minute. It says it doesn't transfer photos, though. I'm sure you can just screenshot. Well, the reason that you can't transfer photos is because it's the concept of not using someone else's photos. That's why. That's going to be a whole big deal. So it's like you don't want to do that. You just literally just want to have the info. Sometimes I don't mind just putting the photos in because typing all that stuff in there is a pain. That's like Etsy. I do everything in the draft on my tablet, and then I come back to the computer later, and then I list it, fill in the information. I can take pictures all day long and upload them. I'm pretty sure anybody feels that way. So taking a couple photos of something is not a big deal, but it's like they don't want you stealing some or using someone's photos. So that will create such a headache and such a uproar, because even the smallest things, right? So it says Lori Owens. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, let me go in here. So it's sell similar, which is like eBay, right? So yes, see, there's a sell similar from your souls. Okay, mine hasn't. I don't have that yet. Let me see. Sometimes my tablet doesn't upload, so maybe it's on my. Okay, let me go in here. I really do need glasses on though. Okay, I'm not seeing it yet. So that could be the issue, because you already know I stay on top of things. I'm so quick to put a video out. So Lori says it's sell similar from your souls, and Lori, and then I'm gonna go back to see Lori Owens. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Just noticed it today. Don't know how new it is because I'm always late to the party. I'm with you then, see, because I have not discovered that. I just went into the app on both. I have an app on my phone and on my tablet. Mine is not coming up. So I don't know if it's slowly rolling out. Could be the case. Let's see. What else? See. C says, oh, it was in some random seller sold, not yours. Okay, so maybe it's slowly running out because I don't even have stories. Who has stories yet? Because as soon as stories coming out, people have been complaining, and I was kind of like, I'm not going to do it, but might as well. Who has stories? Okay, so Lizette says her friend has it on her Posh. So it's definitely slowly rolling out. I would love to see who has stories. Carmen Avery, thank you for joining us. My friend Chichi didn't show up, so it's just me. And hopefully you've come to see me anyway. Let's see. Yeah, okay, good. I was feeling kind of like, once C said that, I thought it was just me. Okay, so even Melissa was like not on hers, but she's always get new features last. Okay, is it? Yeah, because so Melissa, I'm pretty sure I thought about it before, but do you think it's alphabetical order? You know, just like in high school, you're the last one for graduation and everything like that. So do you think it's like alphabetical order? Maybe that's the case, because it's a lot of people here who don't have it. So I would love to do that. And then so Lori says, have they frozen the seller campaigns? I haven't gotten any. Yes, they have. They actually, one of the reasons why they've frozen the seller campaigns is because they're coming up with new ideas. But the other reason is because all the things that are going on right now. I actually had signed up for a Posh and Coffee to host this coming Saturday. They sent me an email indicating that they're going to cancel Posh and Coffees until June 27th because of everything going on. I'm still that person going like, I am business as usual. So I'm going to host. I changed if you already RSVP to my Posh and Coffee, go to my, I'll send you the link. I don't think I have it in my campsite. I might have to add it to my campsite, but I changed it to a coffee chat. So Poshmark is canceling and holding back on a lot of things right now. They're working on some new things to come out, but they're also holding off on things because they think the tone is not right or whatever. I'm like, that doesn't affect me because I'm Black. So none of that stuff affects me personally in terms of holding off and whatever. So I'm still going to keep hustling. Amy says, if I share someone's item that lives in Canada to my followers where they see them, I wasn't sure because it's Canada. You have to actually go into the Canadian market. So it probably will go to your followers. You have to just check later, but your followers cannot purchase from Canada unless they're in Canada. I'm going to go back to Amy. I'm calling it Sell Similar. That's what it reminds me of. Yes, cool. It says, yes, you are. LOL. I checked to see if you had a video up of it yet. Was surprised when you didn't. Yes, believe me. Well, the reposh feature came up too, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I could probably do a 2-in-1. I did recently, on yesterday, I did a video. What's today? Probably Monday. I think it was Monday. I did a video for the Posh shipping labels. So if you haven't watched that, we all have been shipping a lot. It's really for like newer people, probably. Sometimes people have questions about like expired labels. My post office is kind of quirky. I don't know if Amy has experienced. Happy Cowgirl Thrifter and I live in the same city, and I don't know if she's experienced it. And especially when I was selling Etsy, if the exact date is not on there, they will send it back to me. So instead of dealing with my post office, I print out all of my Poshmark labels the day that I ship them. I do that all the time. Years ago, Poshmark had to email it to you. So when I first started selling, it was an issue. And I learned that because I would print out my label, stick it on there and send it out. And my post office would be rude and send it back to me. Nikki, you still on here? Why? So what I do now is I go to an expired label, say that my label is expired, you hit it and it creates a brand new one and you can download it. So I just did a video of that. I talked about heavier shipping. I talked about what happens if you don't create enough shipping. And I also showed you how to download directly from the app. Some people think they have to wait for an email to go into their email account and then print their label. You can hit download and shipping right from the Poshmark platform. So if you didn't know, now you know, right? Okay. Yes, Nora, I changed my chat instead of a Posh and Coffee because I didn't want to do anything with Poshmark because Poshmark literally had to give me credit for it. Like it was their program. I went into Poshmark, I hit the campaign and I did everything they told me to. And they told me to create it into a Facebook room. So I changed it and made it a Zoom chat. So it's still the same link, but I'm just calling it Coffee Chat. So if you still want to join me this Saturday, June 13th, I will put the link in my bio, but I'll also send it. The people in my group, it's the same link. Nothing's changed. You click that link. It takes you to my Facebook event. And then you'll just click the Zoom link or put in the meeting ID with the password. So I felt more comfortable with Zoom. The Facebook room was a requirement from Poshmark. But once they sent me the email saying they were canceling it, I just created my own thing. So I'm having Saturday, the coffee chat. Monday is a power chat on Zoom. So if you haven't signed up for that, that is at 7 p.m. and we're just going to talk about some things. That's my monthly Zoom chat that I do. And then on July 29th, I'm having a culture conversation. So for anyone, it doesn't matter. It's about, I want a diverse community. It's only going to be open up for 20 people. If you're a couple, you can count as one person. And we're just going to talk about culture, race, color, love, all those things in a safe, laid back environment. You already know me. There's no profanity or anything like that. And then it's going to be on Zoom and it's going to be taped and released as a YouTube video. So I want to start the conversation and always keep the conversation going because there's always conversation to be had. It will never end. Once it ends, things can go back to the way they were, but we don't want that. We want to start the conversation, especially for people who have been hesitant to have a conversation, people who don't know how to have a conversation, and people who think that it's just a color issue. So you can definitely join me. You have to send me a DM and then I'll send you the information to RSVP for the chat. Okay, so Terry doesn't have stories. Definitely. So C says, I'm noticing that it is on other sellers' solds, not yours. Interesting. So if you go into any seller and go to their sold items, you will see what I'm seeing. Interesting. Okay, that's interesting. See if you can take a screenshot and send it to me as a DM so I can look at it. But that is definitely interesting. Huh. I like that. Yeah, it's probably definitely rolling out slow. And it must just be really rolling out slow because I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Because Tori from Girly Girl Style is really big and really quick on creating videos like I am. Something new she does in real time, like I like to do. So Melissa says, I am happy they have been expanding categories. I definitely am. Manish had indicated that he's probably going to add on a handmade category. This is what I want to say about like handmade. If you guys are making handmade items, do not undervalue your items. I actually just put a few tie-dye shirts on Poshmark last night, but I'm hesitant because of the fees. That's why I like Etsy. Etsy is the price that you charge for it. So there is no haggling, there's no lowballing. And I don't always feel comfortable saying, oh, I'm not going to take an offer for this because I am on Poshmark. But if you're selling handmade items now, and if they open up a market for it, please value your handmade items. I made more money selling handmade items than I do as a reseller because the time it took for me to put into my items, the value I felt for my items, that's really important. And sometimes we undervalue ourselves, and we don't want to do that. You want to make sure you're getting what is worth. Even if you're starting off and you're like, oh, I'm just starting off, like Lori was saying, she's just trying some bleached shirts and things like that. If they're coming out good and you can sell them, make sure you do a little research to see how you can sell them. Because the cool thing about this, it could be 1 million bleach shirts. It could be 1 million tie-dye shirts. No one has your exact same shirt. So you have something unique that someone else doesn't have. That's what I like about tie-dye and bleaching. You have no idea how it's really going to come out. Some people, of course, they do because they're following these patterns and, you know, the bullseye. But when I open up that shirt, it's such a wow factor for me that I'm just like, you know, it just amazes me. Like I just happen to be sitting next to a shirt. Like this right here is just pink, a pink shirt that I wind up and put some rubber bands on, and then it comes out and it looks so beautiful like that. And so you don't want to undervalue thinking, oh, it only took me this amount of time. You know, you still had to buy your products and things like that. It's not like you went and sourced and you bought the shirt and now you're selling it. You bought whatever products that you needed, even if you just went and bought some bleach. Well, thank you, Lizette. I already know that. So that right there alone, it took me a long time to get here, but I definitely know my truth. I know who I am, and I know that I'm more than enough. So the key with that is teaching others. Like when people say you're brave, I'm like, no, I'm not brave. I'm Leslie. I just happen to be bald. So that right there. Lori says, thanks, Leslie. I was just starting to wonder because it seemed odd. Hey Lara, my friend Chichi didn't show up. I haven't heard from her, so the show is on. It's just me. I sent you a DM, Lara. I'm having a 50 and older chat that I'm going to be starting, so I sent you a DM today, and so check that out. Melissa said, yep, I agree about the bleaching, and I always wing it. Seriously, it is so much fun. I've been finding it to be therapeutic. I am going to be creating I have 3 new YouTube videos coming out, but one of my YouTube videos I'm going to be talking about May was a month for me to really just like figure out April and May, just like really figure out like how to rework my business without sourcing and in my own like comfort, right? I'm laughing at Thomas. I'm gonna come back to him in a minute. So June, what I decided to do, especially with all the current things going on in the world, there's Chichi. Chichi, I'm gonna get you.
Yay!
She in trouble, y'all. Look, I've been holding the show for 30 minutes. You 30 minutes late. Where you been?
Listen. I had to get dirty with my hands. First of all, hello, Leslie, and my apologies.
Yes, how you doing?
I actually don't like being late. I am very timely, so I really do apologize. But definitely had to get dirty with my hands and make sure the Wi-Fi was on point.
Nice.
And it took some time because, like I said, you know, I have roommates and all those sorts of things. But we're all good. Service is great. I'm fine. I hope I didn't miss out on too much. What's going on?
I was just talking. I was like, shoot. I said, look, there's people on here. I'm just going to talk. That's all. You know, it happens to be my channel, right? So you're not here for Chichi. So So no, definitely, I'm so glad you're here. Look at that smile. I was just telling Thomas.
Wow.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you, everybody, Chichi's here. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and then I'm going to give my little of how we met each other. I was just telling my husband how things work out. So tell everybody who you are, whatever you want to share.
Yes. All right. So you guys, my name is Chichi. I worry. I'm born and raised in Houston, Texas. I now reside in ATL. My parents are Nigerian, so that's kind of like my background. Let's see. Okay, so I started this whole reselling stuff, which is basically how I met Leslie through Poshmark. And from there, it's kind of like, as you start one thing, things start developing, you start growing. And from there, I just was doing different things. And, I was just thinking about new ideas. And I was just like, okay, cool. Wow, this could be a business. Just thinking about all these other stuff. Went to Posh Fest. And that's where I saw Leslie. And I was like, because the thing is, I followed her on IG and stuff. And like, she was real big, real popular. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But nothing much. I was just like, oh, wow. She's really, been at this and like she's going hard and all this stuff. So when I saw her at Posh Fest, I was like, wait a minute. Is that the, when you got to double check, you like looking over your shoulder, like, wait, is that the person that's on my. And so that's what I did, and I was like, okay, hold on. I think that's her. So I just asked her, like, excuse me, hey, are you the? And she's like, yes.
Yeah.
And so, from there, that's how we hit it off. And then we just kept in contact. And I think a lot of it is because it's not a lot of brown women doing this. So I think that's also what helped us stay in contact, because it's just kind of like us building a family of network. And so so then after that, we just stayed in contact. All has been well. She gave me an interview recently. We were just talking about some stuff, and it's just been like that since then. So this is cool. This is like, at this point, it's like Leslie's like fam. So
for real. I'm gonna jump in because I was telling my husband today, like, that you were going to be on, and I always go back to that story. Like I didn't know it from Chichi's side, where she was like, "Is that Leslie?" Because Lizette isn't here. So everybody talking about I'm famous. No, I'm not. So Chichi's in her mind going like, "Hey, I'm sitting there like, look, I'm tired. Should I call my Uber right now?" And she comes and sits next to me, and she says, she asked me if it was me, and she told me she followed me, and we chatted, but that's how I am. To me, it was very refreshing. And then I didn't know as much about her now as I do, but we're both like, my heritage is definitely from Nigeria. So I was like, take a picture. People will think we cousins because we got the lips and everything. And we got the matching heads. I just didn't happen to have on my glasses, but she got the big, beautiful ones. But bam, we cousins from the same country, So I was telling Thomas that just this afternoon, but also how connections are made. And so for me, my platform kind of going forward is always about community building. Everything else kind of works around that, because you meet people and then you meet another person, but it's also about it's not just the connections, it's how far you're going to take them after you've made the connection, So when someone gets into my heart, I stay with them. I think about them for this. I think about them for that. Oh, you have to meet that person. Oh, that person lives in the ATL. So that's what I'm all about. So when I think about things that I know relate to you, I'm reaching out to Chichi. I'm reaching out to Lizette. I like a lot of people. And Thomas says, how do you know people's names? Because those are the people that I'm dealing with every single day. Out of 16,000 people who are called community members, there are about 50 people I can roll off my tongue like real quick, and you're definitely one of those people.
Oh, wow.
Oh, girl, please.
I feel honored. I'm not even gonna lie, I feel honored. So thank you.
Well, you have my phone number, not so I tell people that.
That's true.
Once you do the digits, and not even, because I do have a lot of people's phone numbers from originally when I was doing the podcast, I was doing on the app. So now it's all Zoom. So there are no numbers exchanged. So anything beyond that, if I give you my number, you're in, you know. So that
Yeah.
that's a really big deal. It's like Chichi, you can text her, she might get back to you 2 or 3 days, but so Chichi, tell us a little bit more about yourself. You're involved in a lot of different things in Atlanta. Tell me what you're doing. Like this doesn't have to be reseller related content because I already knew when you were coming on. I wanted to hear about what you were doing, like Chichi spinning and poetry and all. So tell everybody a little bit about who Chichi is.
Yeah, so Chichi is somebody who is evolving through life. Definitely trying to, I mean, there's a lot of things going on, but one of my goals is to make sure that I make a name for myself,
Mhm.
build myself up from the ground up,
Nice.
and also to make a difference in my family as far as showing that it is possible that you can be an entrepreneur, that I can be successful. It's just gonna take some time,
Mhm.
and a lot of times, my family, it's they're very strict, and it's like if you're not like a lawyer, if you're not a doctor, an engineer, or any of those things, it's kind of like that's how we defined our
Yeah.
success,
Yeah.
and so well that's how they.
Right.
And so, if you're not either one of those professions or anything like that, or if you don't have like the 9 to 5 job or something, where it shows consistency or something like that, then in their eyes you're not successful. And so kind of in a sense also proving a point, like I could still be successful while doing my own thing, and building myself up. It's just with this route it's a lot harder because it takes time, it's a lot longer,
Mhm.
but it's gonna happen. It's just this is where determination, um endurance, motivation, all those things, they all come into play.
Yeah.
And so it's just being strong throughout the whole journey.
Yeah.
And so, just and also recognizing that it's a journey. So it's kind of something that I'm on. Let's see, like what am I doing? I mean, I do a lot, you guys. But see, I'm not just doing things to just do them though. Like most of them I'm doing them because like I know they're gonna lead somewhere, or it's because I actually enjoy doing it. Like there's a passion involved,
Yeah.
So let's see. Well, I am an indoor cycle instructor, and I teach at Cycle Bar here at Buckhead in Atlanta. So that's cool. I love doing that because I've always loved cycling. It's just that I used to do outdoor cycling.
Yeah.
I was like cycling outside, all that kind of stuff. And if anything, it was kind of like a casual thing, like a stress reliever or something like that. But then, as I got older, started really thinking, I was like, maybe I could actually start making some money out of this.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started, researching and all that kind of stuff. And when I saw that, I was like, ooh, indoor cycling. Okay, let's see what that's about. So I tried the classes and I was like, okay, I like this. Kept going, all that kind of stuff. Just kind of like taught myself through like watching and all those types of things. And then from there, when auditions was ready, I felt ready enough to kind of like apply. And then we went from there. So that's one part. But I'm gonna let you
Indoor
jump in.
cycling. Indoor cycling. Okay. Like, yeah, she teaches indoor cycling. Those classes, it about killed me. Okay. My good friend of mine, she was the first person who introduced me to yoga Pilates. And then she said, okay, let's see, I'm bringing this new instructor in. I'm giving them space and we're going to be doing cycling. So this fool, me, I only live like a block away. So I was like, okay, I got that because I was going to yoga like, man, Pilates, man, after the first weekend, I could get my body back together. I was like, okay, I'm going to try. The cycling class. First time was it for me. I could not walk. It was like I got off a horse and my legs just was like, this is what's going to happen. And I had to go stand up. I was baking in cafes back then. So there was no sitting down. You stand up all day long baking. You did 10-minute, 15-minute break. But I was like, nah. So when you say I'm cycling and I'm teaching, I think that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing though.
Thing. I'm sure you can do it, Leslie. Listen, I'm sure you can do it. It just it's gonna take some time. You know, your
Yeah.
body gotta get used to it. But yeah, it's fun. Like I love doing it. So, you know, it's like I'm just at a stage where I'm learning how to learning how to love what I'm doing
Yeah.
by not looking at the currency factor,
Yeah.
by looking at just by not even looking, just feeling
Yeah.
first, and then allowing the currency factor to kind of like follow through. So that was kind of like that, you know, because I wasn't making any money out of that first. It was just me, you know, taking the classes and learning about it and going through the training process and all those sorts of things. And then finally, you know, once I got in and all that was over, then it was like, you know, the revenue started getting generated. So it was just crazy because throughout that whole time, you know, my parents be on my line. They was just on me, y'all, just like, oh, so you cycling, but where your money at? Oh, you can't pay your bills. And I was like, listen, that's not how it works. You
Yeah.
know, and what's so crazy about my parents, which kind of is just like, I don't understand why they on me so hard. Which I kind of understand, but then sometimes I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Because when they came here, they know the hustle,
Yeah.
you know, because they came here from Nigeria. And when they came here, it was straight up like they started from the bottom, working at Wendy's, you know, and, you know, popping babies and going to school. So it was just kind of like, you
Yeah.
know what it's like, you know what I mean? To like hustle and grind. So what's the issue
Right.
here? And
Right.
so to them, huh?
No, I was going to say, because as a parent, I totally understand what you're saying, but then as a parent, we think that we want our children to have something different than we have. So you look at their hustle, right? But for you, the hustle was real. But to them, the hustle was a lot, and they don't want you to have to hustle that way. See, so
Yep.
that's the key. But see, then I'm the opposite way, in a sense that I do want you to make some money, but I also want you to find something you're passionate about. Because how many times do we hear the story of a person who's gone to school for years? And I know it's many people, right? Have gone to school. They just so passionate. I'm going to be a doctor, lawyer, or it's something that their family expects and they go ahead and do it. They go to school, come out with student loans, and they go into a job and they're miserable, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to do it, but then they don't know a way out. And so I haven't never had that pressure. I don't have a college degree. So one thing, I would love my children to have college degrees, but I don't pressure them to do that because I, one, can't speak to that for myself. You know, I'm okay not having it. I grew up on the street, the school of life. I'm good with that, you know.
Mm.
But you also need to know, like, long as you can make somebody take care of you. So if you're going to work at McDonald's, you need to have a Wendy's next to it and Burger King and work in those 3 gigs until you figure out something that's going to bring you money. And I can speak to that because when I was a single mom, I worked 3 jobs and I only had 1 day off. So can't tell me that I wasn't hustling, but also it was jobs that I wanted to do. See, they weren't high paying jobs, but that when I was single, that's when I walked right into my dream of baking. I'd never gone to any culinary institute. I'd been baking since I was 6. I went in, they were like, show me what you can do. I learned all this at home in grandmom's kitchen. And I got a job that culinary students couldn't get. So sometimes it's good to follow your passion and do it. It's just, you just have to have the knowledge that, you know what, it's going to be hard for a little bit. And you've already said that. And you know that. But then as a parent, we look, because Thomas is downstairs now. I'm surprised he hasn't commented. He's gonna like, look, you can't come back here. So you need to oh no, he keep it real.
Yeah.
Another thing, you know, mama be like, you can come home. Thomas like, you ain't come back here. I'm done. Our 2 babies are done. He like, they done. But like, so we do want to prepare them and just make sure they're good. And that's what I try to tell my children. But I do want them to do something that they love. I want them to be able to take care of themselves because I'm not going to always be here. So that's really the concern more than anything else, probably from them. You know, they know in which they come, right? It's the American dream, right? But I think everyone has their own dream. I don't really believe there's an American dream because the dream that America has, I don't have. I don't need to have, you know, a 6-bedroom, whatever house. I just want to have a house. You know, so we grew up on welfare. So my mother moved every year when I was growing up. So I didn't have I told Thomas, even though I've been married before, being with him is home. A home is not a house, you know. A home is your comfort space, right? And somebody who's in the same spirit as you. So, but I definitely think that that's really what your parents, they're like, yeah, we don't want you to hustle like that. But I relate to you because you're talking my story now. So I raised my children and now I'm just starting to see all the things that I was loving and doing. I can make some money. The process can be a little slow, but I'm also laying the foundation for some beautiful things to happen. And I see that is about to happen with you there. So you're doing poetry, right? Spoken word.
Oh,
Tell us about that.
yeah. Well, first, I'll get into the poetry, but can we go back to the bacon though? Because I wanted to ask something about that, and I totally agree. That is basically why my parents tend to come for me so much, is because they don't want me to have that hard knock life, and they want me to do better and all those sorts of things. But the baking though, I have a question. So, what's one of your how everybody got that one dish that if you about to come to some kind of potluck, like, oh, Leslie
Yeah,
finna
I got it
bring
too.
so and so.
I'm surprised. Thomas, tell him what's Thomas. Thomas typed in my so my first thing, which I can take anywhere, and all my children know it. I used to make it every week. Put some chocolate chip cookies. That's my whole family. When you, just like you said, we having a potluck, Chichi. I'm talking about they bring in Ziploc bags. Okay. This is the way to, seriously. So when I used to go, my father and my stepmother used to host a New Year's Eve party. They didn't do Christmas. So they let everybody do all their holiday stuff. And so New Year's Day, everyone would go to my father's house. They would still had a tree up and my stepmother would cook all day. So everyone would bring something because all my aunts cook, bake. That's where I get it from. They cook, but baking is, because I use a lot of their recipes from like 80 years ago and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So chocolate chip cookies was the thing. Okay, I'm doing these chocolate chip cookies. Girl, I remember one day I came in that first January 1st, I came in, had cookies on a tray. Next thing you know, those cookies was gone. My stepmother, Miss Paula, didn't even put out the food yet, right? And so my father and my uncle, the two main guys in my life, my father and his brother, were the cookies. So from now on, I bring bags for them and then pull out the big old tray for everyone else. Because I'm like, how do the brothers don't have the cookies? And then my father and my uncle both, when they were working, they worked at the water department, which is up the street from my house. They would call me for orders. This is when I was like, my kids were little, I was broke. And they got it into their heads to support me through ordering cookies from me. Chichi. They would call me up and my uncle would be like, I need 3 dozen chocolate chip cookies. My father loves the oatmeal raisin. So my uncle called me. Then my father would come and say, hey, how you doing? I was like, good. Uncle Tim just came to pick up his cookies. What? How many dozen he get? I said 3. Oh, no, make mine 6 dozen. I'll be here tomorrow.
Wow. So the cookie competition.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my first one. And then my second one, I have a whole bunch of other ones, but my second one is definitely a family 7-Up recipe. So that it's one pan, one dish, and I sell that recipe and people buy it. I sell it. I have it as a digital download. I tell the story of the recipe because it's like 80 years old in my family. My aunts gave me the recipe. I called them up one day. I was pregnant with my son. That was 21 years ago. And I said, I need a recipe for this 7-Up cake. And I've been making it ever since. And it's a family recipe that's just been passed down. So 7-Up cake and chocolate chip cookies, but I bake everything else. I do wedding cakes, and I hooked my husband with he's saying lemon bars, but I hooked him with look, he's putting everything out there. Chocolate chip spade, 7-Up, he put lemon bars, and he said the list goes on and on. I hooked him with some vegan carrot cake cupcakes. Because my business was, because I worked in cafes, I worked in 2 cafes at a time, but my business was I made vegan, gluten-free, egg-free, milk-free. No one could tell. I wouldn't tell you. So people would buy that. I had families of people who, if their kids had celiac or whatever, all that kind of stuff, and I would actually take regular recipes and convert them. I had a blog years ago. So I've done it all just about. But that's when you live in your dream. I stayed at home. I was married. And then I stayed at home with my children for 8 years because my youngest daughter was born with a medical condition. And so I stayed at home. I sacrificed, and I would just bake for them. And I did my homeschool and all that. I volunteered at the church nursery. So I kept myself busy. But when it was time to go back to work, I didn't want to go back to corporate America because I worked at a major insurance company for 12 years, from the time I was 18 to the time I had my son. And I just didn't want to do it. So I just stayed home. So my first job, when we found out that she was fine and she was able to go to school, I applied to be a baker. No training, only home training. And that's how I became a baker. I applied. They hired me. They told me they interviewed 25 people and they hired me, a home baker. And my two mentors, my two bosses, my boss was 22 years old, just out of the the Art Institute, and the other lady was 2 years out of the Art Institute. And here I was, 35. Baking. Yeah, we're talking some time ago, but yes, it was like amazing. But that's when you talk about dreams coming true, to be able to walk. And then I was in the middle of a divorce, so I got divorced, so I needed another job. I had 6 months at that job, so I was able to go to another bakery cafe and apply. They hired me on the spot, and I was working at two places. I was back and forth. They were only a few blocks from each other, and he was like, he was from Greece, and he told me everything he knew: baklava, schnecken, rugula. I'm talking, Italian wedding cookies, all kinds of stuff I can do. I can read a recipe and make it work for you. But that was the dream for me. That was like, I struggled, me and my kids in a 2-bedroom apartment, 5 kids in 1 bedroom, but I was doing my own thing. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. When Thomas met me, I had worked myself up to a house. So that was like 4 or 5 years later.
Okay.
Beautiful thing. Yeah. I know I went on a thing, but like
no, you're good. I mean, it's probably like just a part of the story. So that makes sense. Damn, Leslie, I can be around you if that's the case, because I am like a cookie monster. And I love cookies, yo. I love cookies. And I was also going to ask, like, how do you make your chocolate chip cookies? Because I'm also very picky of how my chocolate chip cookies
are. So what do you mean by that?
So I like them, like, if they're crispy, only crispy on the outside. But I need them to be like,
but when you break them, they're nice and moist. And see, the key to that, for the people who don't know, the way to get it crispy on the outside and soft in the middle is to melt your butter, baby, or your margarine or your vegan butter, whatever you melt it. That's the key.
Well, I am vegan, so I don't know how that's gonna work. But
I can send you some recipes.
Okay, and gluten free, so no wheat. But
I know about that because I sent my mother's celiac. So she.
Okay.
So I told her, I sent her recipes years ago, like chocolate cakes, because my mother wasn't, when I was growing up, my mother didn't bake. Now she over there baking in North Carolina, like she, cheesecakes. She's selling cheesecakes now, okay?
Ooh.
And so, yeah, so she's doing cheesecakes, and I sent her my chocolate cake recipe. The key to a chocolate cake is don't use water, use coffee. It accents the chocolate. It brings out the taste of the chocolate. I know I'm teaching you all a little bit something, so no. But yeah, so definitely.
So do you still like sell some of your baked goods or what?
I don't. When I was working for the school district, which was the job I had before I became a full-time reseller, I did build relationship with some of my coworkers, and I would sell my stuff. But when I was in Philly, I didn't have to worry about like insurance and things like that. I could sell out of my house. I'm in Delaware, so as soon as I moved to Delaware, I really started like looking to see what I can do and whatever. But you need like a licensing and all that, your own kitchen. And so I said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to like let people know that I bake. And then people were like order for me around Thanksgiving and stuff like that. But I'm still baking. Like I just did for my daughter's graduation gathering. I made some vanilla cupcakes and she wanted brownies. I bake what I know my children like. And if I'm going somewhere, my signature, again, the cookies are simple because I can make the dough the night before. I like fresh baked cookies. I do not bake a cookie and let it sit overnight. I make the cookie the day of. Now the 7-Up cake takes an hour to bake in the oven, so I'll do that the night before. But I also, anytime that I bake something, I add extra to it. So I tell people, like, if you're going to bake from a box, there's nothing wrong with that because they sell plenty of vegan everything and you can get it in a box.
Yeah.
The key to make it yours is to add that extra. And that's how I learned how to bake on my own. My grandmother at 6 years old handed me a box of cake mix. You can read, can't you, girl? And go ahead and get all the ingredients and make that cake. By the time I was 12, I was like, Grandma, I'm not doing this box anymore. And I started doing my own. Because I was like, Grandma, everything's here. Because I was already going like, Grandma, when you're at the store, can you bring me some lemon extract? Grandma, my hair, they had coconut extract. So
that's how you know.
That was Sunday dinner or Thanksgiving. I was the one. So from there, I started making my own. But that anybody, if you're doing box, grate some lemon in it. Get a different type of extract. Get some mint. Do your own. If you're doing a chocolate cake and you want it to taste like mint, throw some mint extract in there. It doesn't take a lot, just a little. And that's all school. That's all learning on my own.
You laughing, but you got
Lori, you in Seattle, girl. You know what?
She said, "Can she order some vegan chocolate chip?" That's why I asked. Listen, Lori, I'm with you. That's why I was like, "Hello, do you still do these shipments?"
It's just in the city. Like I had one family. She was like mine. She was married and she had 4 children, and they all were allergic to something. So every year for 4 years, I would bake their cake. And the funny thing about it, they were all behind the other. So it was like, I think between April and May, it was all the birthdays. And that was the wife, the husband, and the 4 children. Mm-hmm. And so she would just send me their orders. And I couldn't, and this is being creative. Vegan, a lot of vegan, your first thought is, I can do something with soy. Nothing with soy.
No.
You can't do anything with soy, but then you can't do anything with coconut because this person's allergic to coconut. So that's when you really have to research. And I don't get into the whole, I try to do as many natural products as possible. What can I substitute? Because there are so many powders and different things. It's really about the binding. If you use the right flour, you're good. Like you can't do a rice flour for something that's going to be heavy. But you can use an oat flour or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Or almond flour.
Or almond flour. But then an almond flour you can't do for everybody because they have a nut allergies. So you can't do a cake for because like my stepdaughter is allergic to nuts. So anything that I do for the family, I can't intentionally make anything. So if I make chocolate chip cookies, I never put any nuts or anything in it because you never know unless somebody's buying them or it's going to someone else's house. So that's the kind of stuff you have to think about when you're doing vegans. You can't get there and you go somebody choking and you're like, what you put in there? Well, it was almond flour with coconut milk and
but that's funny that you said it because most like vegan alternatives they do use coconut milk or not even coconut milk but like coconut oil or something that has anything to do with coconut. But the flour, most of the time they use like maybe like almond flour, spelt flour or something like that. But that's cool. Yeah, if you ever, do shipments, I would love to have some Leslie cookies.
She said, y'all just wrong. I mean, not Lizette. And I just asked Lizette to be my accountability buddy. I'm like, Lizette, look, I'm on that. My birthday next month, y'all, 51. I want to start getting in shape and everything. I've been running around all day long with the tie-dye and stuff. It's amazing how much time I put in. Hey, Daniela.
Oh, yeah, I saw that pic today. And they came out really nice. I was like, these are cute. Like nice little spring. Like
just teaching myself. We were talking about that. That's how I was keeping the crowd entertained. I was saying that, because we were talking about eventually Poshmark is talking about having a handmade section. Manisha's working on some different things. But what I said to people, if you're going to put handmade items, you need to think of the cost, like what you're going to make, because you don't want to devalue yourself by putting your handmade stuff on like Posh. That's why I like Etsy, because when you charge a fee on Etsy, there is no offers and stuff like that, Whereas Poshmark, you got to think about the shipping is the first thing I think of before I put anything on Poshmark. So you can't have a $25 shirt thinking you're going to get $25 without someone offering, because they're thinking about what they're going to pay for shipping. You're thinking about what you're going to get on the other end. But if you have a $25 shirt with $7.11 shipping, you have to think about that. Whereas on Etsy, a $25 shirt, I will offer free shipping, but it doesn't cost hardly anything to ship off a single shirt, So that's the kind of stuff you really need to keep in mind when you're selling handmade. So we'll never know. And that's all self-taught. Like that bleaching is simple. Thomas just said that he said it way in the chat that on bleaching days is horrible, but it turned out nice. Because like now I did some bleaching. I'm gonna go outside tomorrow, Thomas. But you can smell it throughout the house. So I had to put the shirts in the basement. Bye, Melissa.
I didn't even see what he says. Oh, Vandy's closet is there. Hey,
Yeah, that's Melissa. She's Melissa. She was on the live. If you go back, she was on a few weeks ago. Yeah.
oh, dope. Yeah, because we met at Posh Fest. She's
Yes. I don't know
real
how I missed Melissa at Posh Fest with the hair. I told her that. I'm like, seriously?
Oh, she was there, honey, front and center.
Oh my gosh. But
she was sitting at the same table as Skirt So Pretty as Ebony.
See, I missed some. Well, I know it because we traveled. We were on the same flight together because she came into the airport. And I was like, "Hey, sis," because she's from Philly. I've been to my home city, so I see like because she knows my friend. It's Bossy. She knows Ebony. So that's the thing. I'm near 1,600 people. Like if you had not sat down next to me, I probably wouldn't even notice you, Chichi. So that was how divine that was in that moment, and that's how I met a lot of different people. Were just like, guys at the airport, Ryan and Jack at the airport, girls going, "Oh my God, here's Ryan and Jack." I'm like, I don't know those two young men. And so I'm going to the ladies, go say hi. Oh my God. I'm like, there are no superstars here. And that's what I said. So I got up. I had no idea. Seriously, I didn't follow them, didn't know who they were. I'm like, hey guys, they knew me. Leslie. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, how you doing? Gave them hugs and stuff. We took some pictures and I was like, okay, ladies. And then all the ladies waved. But I'm like, that's how you do it. Because I'm like, there are no superstars. I'm sorry. I guess there's some people, but no. See says I love Ebony. So my friend Glow Girl. No, that's I was gonna say, Nikki, are you still on here?
We got a question.
Yeah. So here's that's not.
No, we got a.
That's Lori. That's Lori, Seattle Girl Style.
Yeah, there we go.
Where do you source?
Okay, let's see. So I kind of did a whole 180 with Poshmark, and now I just kind of focus on my resellers template that I have. That's kind of like my focus right now.
Yes.
So prior to that, though, where I sourced was pretty much any thrift store that I could find. But first it was Goodwill. Well, actually, first it started off with just being my closet and all the stuff that I had. Then it went to Goodwill. Then it went to like any random thrift stores that I would find because I was always driving around. And so if I saw a thrift store, I would hop in there and be like, hey, just check around and see what they got. If I find something I like or a good deal, I cop it and I keep it moving from there. But I don't really have like a specific sourcing method. It's just when I'm there, that's when the method happens. Like that's when the strategy happens. Like, I'm checking out these items. Do I really believe that this is something that's worth selling? What's the value? All those sorts of things. The quality, is it, how used is it?
Yeah.
If anything, that's where the real work comes into play because you can buy anything or have anything from anywhere.
Yeah.
Is this good enough to sell it on your platform?
Answer this question. Sweet Texas Finds, no Posh Fest this year. I'm going to say no. The last chat that I was on, that Manish was on, he really was saying that he doesn't think so because everything now is like virtual. And even if they planned it now, I think it would be too late in the year. It kind of throws off because we're so used to having it in October. But when he did hint to, and they probably come out later, as you do the live Poshmark lives they do on YouTube, it's probably going to be double the amount of live Posh Party lives than there normally are. Every year they're doubling them, but there'll probably be more so people can start making those connections and different opportunities. So if you go to the Poshmark blog, I was actually on there yesterday, it's like not hitting to Posh Fest, but to what possible type of Posh and Sips we can have and some Posh Party lives going forward. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think that so we have Georgia, Atlanta is big, but then it might be one in the next biggest like city or whatever, because not everyone can travel, so they're trying to make it where people can see each other, because I hunger for that. That's why I'm doing like these lives and stuff, because we want these connections. But I definitely think they want to stay consistent the way they were doing Posh Fest. And then also they have to make sure these venues are safe now, and then the other piece with that is because we didn't have Posh Fest this year, even the people who were complaining that they didn't like it last year, that something was missing or there wasn't enough, they're hungering for it too. So just imagine the overwhelming response is going to be when they start announcing and when the tickets are released. I would really love, and I'll put this suggestion out there, I would really love, not that I wouldn't want to come together with everyone, but I think they should do an East Coast, West Coast, so that everyone can have an opportunity instead of, because that 1,600, man, they put that was an amazing thing they put together, didn't they, Chichi? Like we all ate the space. I'm not even getting into the educational piece. You know, I enjoy the aspect of it, but like, just imagine like what has to go into all that. When I think about all the people who were having such a challenge, just like I didn't like it. And I just sat back and thought, for the $200 and some, or if you got a ticket that somebody was selling, even if you paid $100 and something, you don't know everything that you got. Have you ever been to a conference? Like you can't get into a conference for less than $500 that is having food for you to eat, breakfast and lunch, goodie bags, parties. Seriously, for 1,600 people. It was on point for 1,600 people. Other stuff, I didn't even hear any of that other stuff. I went and I posh fest my whole weekend. You know, I thought it was worth every dime that I spent. And even effectively, my room, my Airbnb still didn't cost a lot, and my Uber for the cost that I would have. I'm trying to go to some podcasting event. $1,000 they want. You know, somebody wants to invite you to be a speaker. Well, you're supposed to be paying me. I'm not paying that kind of stuff. So I say, if they put it out there, go. If there's a posh party live in your area, it's $10 plus the service fee for Eventbrite, which is going to be $11 and like 26 cents. Go. You know, I know certain people don't like Daniela. She's not interested in whatever, but I say go. I've met so many people. It's amazing to me how many people in the community. Okay, here's my husband. This is Thomas. He's Pasha X. I'm starting to specialize in specific brands of shoes, the daily refinement method. Chichi, how do you feel about that method?
Let me see.
Do you know daily refinement?
No.
Okay. So daily refinement, she doesn't know who daily refinement. So Chris, he is on.
Wait a minute.
You know Chris from daily refinement.
Daily refinement.
Okay. I don't want to say he's a young.
Sorry, is he the Asian guy? Listen, because I feel like I did meet him at Posh Fest.
Yeah, you probably did meet him at Posh Fest.
Yeah, and I think he's more focused with eBay, right?
Yeah, he is definitely, he does sell on Poshmark, but he's definitely bigger. He used to be, I followed him before I knew who he was. He used to be 10K on the Bay before he changed his name to Daily Refinement when he started selling on Poshmark. So Thomas told me 2 years ago about this guy, 10K on the Bay. Look at what he's doing. He's making $10,000.
Yeah, because he's big on YouTube too.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's how Thomas would see him. And then one day I was like, look at this guy. He's got this bow tie. Thomas was like, that's the 10K on the Bay guy. And now I know Chris. He interviewed me. I'm on his YouTube channel.
Oh, what? Okay,
yeah, I love Chris. And he's like, every now and then he'll pop in, he'll chat to me. And he said 10K on the Bay. And so when we were at Posh Fest, I'm talking to somebody else. All of a sudden I get a tap on the shoulder and I look up and there's Chris. I was like,
yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
So cool. That's the kind of stuff I like. I don't think anybody's famous, but it is really nice meeting people. Okay, let me see. Never please everyone. Oh.
But we never answered we never actually answered Thomas's question. Like he was saying something about how do I feel about going towards specific brands of shoes, right?
So he was saying that he wants to know how do you feel about the daily refinement method. And since you don't know daily refinement, because that's who Chris is, he has the method. So explain the method, Thomas, and then
I was like, I know who that is, but what is the method?
Yeah, so explain what the method. So Daniela says, let me pull her thing up.
Okay.
Daniela, you should check out. Daniela's a good friend of mine. She's Thrifters Villa podcast. She and Lori Tata. I would be interested if there was different variations of levels of learning within the classes, advanced learning level courses, and if it was on the East Coast, definitely. I agree with you 100%. So I think they're going to do that based on all the surveys and everything. They're going to talk about that. So Chichi, let's talk about your Excel sheet.
Yes.
Because I'm like, Chichi, why aren't you selling your stuff, girl?
I remember you did call me out, and you know what? I think it was like when I was doing it, I wasn't even thinking of it that way. I was just thinking of it a way to help me make this process faster. Because like I said, I do a bunch of stuff, and it was so annoying how I had to always like get my information from, download it, download my sales, have to go through the process over and over again of running sales and running numbers. And I was like, I don't have time for this all the time. So it's like, what can I do to where it's already set? I just got throwing them numbers and I'm good. So I was like, all right, let me build something. So I built it for me. But see, there's a difference when you build something for yourself versus when you build it for others. Because now when you build it for others, you have to do it in a way in which they'll be able to understand.
Yes.
See, I knew I'll understand it because it's me doing it.
Right.
So that's why I was like, oh, okay, it's cool. I'm just doing it. And then Leslie's like, why don't you? Oh, and then also I was doing like Excel workshops for the partnerships. And then Leslie hopped on one of them. She was like, why don't you just, maybe sell one of this?
Don't be giving yourself away for free. Let me tell you something. Okay. There is such a, I don't know, in the community, like, why are you selling? If you know something that someone else doesn't know, there are other people doing spreadsheets and dashboards and things like that. Why shouldn't you? I jumped on and she was like, bam, bam, bam. And she was teaching it so well. And I was like, well, so why aren't you selling this? And then a couple of days later, she was selling it. But that's but oftentimes what others see in you, you don't see in yourself. And that's why you need a community. You need someone to bring, because there's constantly people lifting me every single day. Every day for me is a learning process. Like for people who are going off of Instagram and they had a bad day, every day is a good day for me on Instagram because I'm learning something. Like Melissa's page, Vandy's Closet, is perfect for Thread Up. Then Daniela is good for what she does. Like today I saw her beautiful smile talking about her stories, and the content that she has in her podcast. And I just love what everyone's doing. So I use it as a learning tool. I use it as an extension to my business and as a learning tool. I never look at it as a negative thing, because I can learn from you because you're doing your thing, and I can learn from somebody else. So that's why I look at it. And that's why I'm consistent about being on there, the content that I put out, and also what I receive, because I'm learning, so it doesn't matter if I've been reselling I've only been reselling for 4 years, but my goal is not to be a reseller forever. It's to take what I know and branch it out into other businesses. And in order for me to do that, I need to learn. So that's why I said to you, you already have a piece right there. Now it's time for you to put that out into the atmosphere, so that other people can purchase it. But then now you're teaching, and it's a little bit of money, and you never know, it may go further, or you might just stop there. It's not, because we're about to collab, right? So
yeah, we'll get into that. But that's funny. That's funny that you say that, because that's just how it starts. Once you put it out there, and then things just start growing from there, because then you start coming up with other ideas and like how you can improve. Because I started thinking about it, and I was like, okay, well, maybe some people need something for inventory. Now I can build a template for that. Like, so it's just like adding stuff and all those sorts of things. And I really like the fact that Etsy, you can put things on there in which people can download. Like it doesn't have to be like a physical product. So I thought that was cool. However, I wish Poshmark can do that. I wish we can, but that's not what the platform is made.
No, it's not for that. So the next step would be to have your own website. So if you're going to be constantly creating, because I have Shopify, so because I'm on Etsy, I'm doing my handmade and I'm doing vintage. And so I said, let me just throw my digital downloads on there. My ebook is on there for the same cost that it costs on my website. My website is in place. I'm actually about to do a video this week showing how I use my website effectively for every piece of my business. And if you have a website, it doesn't just have to be for selling clothes. I don't sell any clothes on my website, and I'm a reseller. I do all other things. I sell, I told you, people pay me to come on Zoom and chat with them and teach them stuff. So I think that if you have something to teach, then do it. Like I was on a chat with someone else. I don't want to give their information away, but they came to me today and was like, oh, I want to put something out there. I've been hesitant. And I said, well, this is how I do it. I'll do it on the website, or I do it on Etsy. And you want to do courses too? This is where you do courses. And I've been researching for the project that we're doing so we can do our webinars and stuff. So it's out there. And the thing is, people are willing to pay for it. Not everyone is interested in tie-dyeing, so they're going to buy the tie-dye shirt. right? Everyone is interested in putting together an Excel sheet. So why not pay you that one price that they can download it? So that's the thing. If you have something that that you don't even have to think you're an expert in it. Somebody else, if they buy it from you, then you're now an expert.
Yeah.
So that's the cool thing. Like I'm an author because my ebook is copyrighted. It is copyrighted, and no one can touch it. I got an official copyright paper.
Let's go.
Certificate of registration. And so that makes me a published author, and can't anyone steal my content or we going to court, baby. So let me see what Thomas is saying. Okay, so Daniela, we already did her there.
Oh, and actually about the Shopify, I did start the Shopify. Yes, nice. I have a Shopify website. Nice. And we probably should have like I don't know, maybe if we have time to talk about different platforms for websites, because I've tried them all. And I don't know. I think it really depends on what you're selling.
Exactly. Because Daniela, tell us what, I know you're putting together a website. Is it WordPress? Then it's Squarespace. I have 2 websites. I just started a new one. So my regular one is on Shopify. Mm-hmm. That's a little bit more money, but it's a little bit more user friendly. What people don't understand about Shopify is you can actually get free apps that add anything that you want to do. If you want to add some stuff, that's when I was thinking about the webinar. If you want to add it, it's free apps. You go into the app store right on Shopify, and it comes up with 20 different apps, and you just go into each app and find out if it's going to be what works for you. And if it's free, you can download it. If it doesn't work, you just go to the next one. So with my ebook, it is, because I was talking to someone today, and they were like, somebody buy it off of Shopify and they email it. I'm like, no, why are you emailing? There's an app for that. There's an app. You load the app into your Shopify store, and now you just add, once you do your PDF, whatever, for your ebook, my ebook's in a PDF. I download it into Shopify, and every time somebody buys, they can instantly, I don't have to send anything. In the beginning, in the pre-launch, I did, because I didn't want people who were clicking on it to get the book. So they would click on it and get the free launch, and then I would email it to them. But the day that it launched, from now on, I just sit back and people just buy my ebook. I don't have to do anything but get the money. So Shopify is beautiful like that. It's plenty of apps on there. You can drop ship from there. You can do so many things. My blog is on Shopify. And now I have Weebly, because I was looking for another website, which is called, for my new brand, Am I Really Bald? And I wanted to do something different with that. And I didn't want to pay a lot of money. I only paid $16 for my Weebly shop. I paid $29 for Shopify, but I make that back, whatever, in just one sell of whatever I have on there. My consultations, 2 consultations pay over the amount of the $29.99. So my Weebly shop, I wanted something really simple. And that's the shop that I have. It's the front page is about me. Then I have, I just put in my RSS feed for my podcast. I put in the feed for my YouTube channel. I have a store. I link my merch store. So I like Weebly as well, but you can't do a whole lot of like digital downloads like Shopify. So like you said, it's the platforms. You just have to figure out where you want to send. It's Wix, Weebly, Shopify, GoDaddy, Squarespace, WordPress, so many. So Daniela said, wait a minute.
There's Wix.
Yeah, Wix, but it's more. That's the other thing too. It's like you need to the monthly. You either pay monthly or some force you to pay a year. So WordPress is more advanced, but there are people on Fiverr who can build a foundation for you if you're not comfortable doing it yourself. Yeah, Fiverr is a really great platform.
Yeah, that Fiverr is where you go for freelancers.
Yeah, it's freelancers. Yeah, and you can put other stuff on there too. You can download like your ebook. You can do different things on there. And it's some stuff that now they allow, you can be more than $5 too. So
yeah, because it's not only $5.
So I'm very comfortable with WordPress. WordPress is also great if you want to host your podcast. WordPress is a really great platform for a lot of things. So you just have to research. You just like, if you're not serious and you're not sure where everything's going to go, a site like Shopify or Weebly, because Shopify, they even have free options. You don't even have to pay the $29.90. But I like Shopify. I pay mine because I have my own domain. It's a reseller.
Yeah, I have
So
mine.
that's what I'd rather pay the $29
cool.
and make sure I get that back in some way. If I sell 3 ebooks, then I've paid. You know what I'm saying? So that's, so you have to really think in terms of, apples and oranges. Whereas Weebly is just like all the other ones, but it literally is only $16 a month. Where otherwise, some of the other platforms, you have to pay that whole year at one time. And then you decide halfway through, you don't want that website, right? And you're stuck with it. So definitely. Okay, Thomas was saying something up here. It says, what people really need the most is information, and that's what you two are providing. Thank you, darling. Love you. I'm not going to get people started because they did.
We trying.
No, there's no try. There's only do or do not. That's Yoda. That's not me.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's saying about failure farming. He finds items that sell repeatedly and are renewable by purchasing wholesale. So he has a whole warehouse.
So does he purchase? Okay, so does he purchase? So where does he purchase wholesale from? Like, is it US based? Is it online? Is it physical? Like, how do you purchase your wholesale?
Say that again. Well, I think, Thomas, answer that question. Where does he buy? I don't think he gives a lot of where he's buying from, but I think a lot is US based, and he's made a lot of connections. He's been on eBay for a long time, so he actually has connections with eBay directly. And so, yeah, he's been hustling. It says, Leslie, would you do a video on tips for officially setting up your reselling business as a small business? I've probably done that before, but I sure can. No, I'm thinking podcast. Yes, I can totally do that. Let me write it down.
Yeah, I was like, that could be.
I can totally, especially now that I'm getting more proficient with like editing and adding photos and stuff like that. Yeah. So so it says, and then Daniela says WordPress is more advanced, but there are people. Oh, Sherry, we already did that. You know why? Because I'm not hitting the comment scroll thing. There it is. Hey, Lori Tata. That's Daniela's partner in crime, Thrifters Villa. If you have not checked out Thrifters Villa, Daniela is Ivy and Blush Bottega, and Lori is Lori's Boston Found. They have Thrifters Villa, which is wonderful. Everybody put your information in the comments. Put your thumbs up. The thumbs up, and set the reminder. I have some great content and great people. Sarah Styles will be on tomorrow. Next week, we have the Spanish Girl Chat. And Chichi, I was saying before you came on, Thomas and I, we have Tucker Tuesday. So Thomas and I come on every Tuesday night and we do a YouTube live. Okay. And so last night I said to people, send me some ideas of things you want to see. And like, as soon as it was over, someone sent me a DM and said, Leslie, you're losing your own demographic, the 50 and over. So I already today put together for June 25th a 50 and over chat. Come on now.
Okay.
There is no stopping me. As long as I have breath in my lungs, okay, and I get up every morning, I'm going to hustle.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. Definitely. Always. I'm always shouting out, because when Chichi, after this buffers tomorrow, Chichi's going to come back and put all her information. So for people who are just joining, this is Chichi. I'm at Chichi at Posh Fest. Wonderful person. She's teaching cycling classes. She does spoken word. She's got a great Excel sheet that she's put together. We are going to be collabing on, we're going to be doing a webinar, and Chichi's going to tell you what's going on, because I'm just the person who's sitting back watching Chichi.
Yeah, so me and Leslie, we're going to collab, and I'm going to teach an Excel workshop series. So I feel that a lot of people might need it, and it will be helpful, especially since, I sell the product, and sometimes people are like, I don't even know how to use it. Well, this is good to allow you to understand how to just give you the basic fundamentals with Excel. And then from there, with all the templates that you see online, and even if it's not mine, but at least now you have like the basic knowledge of how to use it on your own. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to worry about paying somebody all the time to do it for you.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something in the works, and it's coming soon. So it's really cool that me and Leslie get to collab that way.
Yeah.
So y'all stay in tune. It's coming, so don't worry. And even after this, if you have like suggestions as far as if there's any issues or troubles that you have when you're using, spreadsheets, or when you're downloading your sales report from Poshmark or any platform that you're using, definitely, let us know. Put it in the comments. Tell us, what are some issues that you're having, and what are some ways in which you want to learn. And all those sorts of things, and we'll definitely add that in there.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited. Yeah,
I'm
it's gonna be
super
cool.
excited. Wait, look, I'm like,
And you know what, Leslie? Now that I'm thinking about it, since who was it that asked that question? Let me see, where is she? There was somebody that asked that question that said if you were gonna do it was Melanie that asked about the small business, how to make it. Yeah,
mhm.
so maybe you can add that in there. Add that into the webinar.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it'll be cool. It'll be cool, you guys. Just make sure you let us know what exactly you would like to see as far as when it comes to using Excel, and we can make something work.
I agree with you, Lori. I'm checking them out. Like, look, I might have to update. Look, I got my little.
Oh wow! That
Hey.
was silly.
So yes, because when
Thank
I
you.
met, for people who are just joining, like I was at Posh Fest and Chichi came and sat down beside me. It was like, "Are you Leslie?" I
Oh
don't know.
yes, are you
And we
Leslie?
just started talking from there. Like, people were like, they don't realize that I mean, of course they realize it, but I'm just a regular person. I'm really just a regular person. The way I am is how I am. I like to have fun. And as you can see, I giggle like a girl. To be 50, I still giggle like a young girl. I still have a lot of energy and I love to laugh. That's why I've got this line in my head and it's good, right? So when I meet people, they're
It's
always
working.
so like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, it's just me. I really just am who I am. I want to know who you are. Like, so like, just imagine going through a room with 1,600 people and they're coming up to you. Oh, I follow you. And I'm so and so. And I'm like, sweetie, I do not want to know your Instagram name. Tell me your name. I need to
Yeah,
make that connection. I'm probably not going to remember it, but I need to make that connection because I mean, of course, they're going to know me as a reseller's passion, but that's just my name. My brand is Leslie, So when you hear a reseller's passion, oh, that's Leslie,
right.
Leslie, that's a reseller's passion. Oh, so I'm just me. I'm just me. I want to know people. I want to bring people together. I want to gather information. I want people to learn. I want people to grow. I want people to step out of their comfort zone and stretch themselves every single day.
Right.
It's really important. That's why we do these things, because we had the opportunity to be on, but look how much better it's just you and I. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Anybody have a couple more questions before we go? C left us. We still have 8 people on. Hit the thumbs up. Anybody have any questions for Chichi? Anything you want to share? What's going on, like, in Atlanta with everything that's going on, Chichi? What's
Yo,
your
so the protest thing is heavy. And I'm not against protesting at
Mhm.
all. Sometimes you gotta yell for people to listen.
Mhm.
And so I'm not against it at all. What day are we on now with this whole protesting? I think
It's
day
we're going
5.
to 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, we've
Mhm.
been at it since. And so we have like an organization that ATL does, and it's called ATL Solidarity
Mhm.
Fund. And pretty much they collect funds from people, from donations, and it goes towards the injustice that Black lives receive. And it helps with bails and lawyer fees and all those sorts of things when it comes to like police brutality and court cases and all those sorts of things. So what I've been doing, because see, what I've noticed with this situation, I feel like this is kind of like where everybody's looking at everybody and trying to see where everybody falls into place as far as supporting the movement. And I support the movement 100% because it's a movement. Like, we're trying to get our point across. We're trying to make a resolution out of this. And within that, being said, I'm definitely not the type to go out there and actually protest. No. However, I can still get my point across in a different way. And
Indeed.
my way of doing it is by organizing events, fundraisers. So with that being said, like the show that I had a recent show that I did with an organization called the Day of the Poet, and we hosted a show that allowed people to come and watch and just get their voices out there, and all the poets who kind of wanted to just speak about how they feel about the situation. And within that, we were asking for donations. So it
Mm-hmm.
was like a donating driven event that we hosted. So that was cool. And then, even from there, I was like, it's not enough. I know we still got to push this through. So me working as a cycle instructor, it's still technically kind of like corporate, just a little, but just on a different level. I didn't even feel comfortable like going to work all the time. Sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
would get anxious.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what's going on is also affecting me because I am a person of color.
Mm-hmm. You're freezing up.
And so I reached out. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Are we
you.
good?
Yeah,
Let me
you're moving
see.
down. Yeah, you were like you. I can still hear you talking, but you were freezing. But now you're moving. There you go.
Okay, okay. Well, let's hope
Yeah,
that doesn't
there
happen
you
because
go.
we
Yeah.
were good for so long.
Well, you're on the poetry
We were
thing, so I
doing
have a
good.
question. There's a question. That's New England Betty Boop is my good friend Lizette. Where
Aw.
can they hear your
Well,
poetry?
yes. So you can hear my poetry. Oh, she said, oh, Thomas had a question too, but okay, let me
You
answer
gotta
this
get
one.
to him because he loved
Yeah,
language.
so you can hear poetry from me.
You got stuck. So we didn't even hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, we can hear your poetry.
Okay.
Where? Because you
What
stuck. Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. So you can hear my poetry on my IG page. So if you follow me at Chichi I Worry, that's where I have everything. I even have Trim Sleekwear. That's where I have all my live shows. And right now everything's virtual. So you can be anywhere around the world and still be able to watch us and tune in. So just
Nice.
make sure you follow Chichi I Worry. Is there a way I could type that? Maybe if I
You
could.
can type it in the chat.
Let
Well,
me see.
you could. Are you on your phone?
No, I'm using my computer.
Okay, spell your last
I can
name.
only do private chats. Oh, okay. So it's Chichi. Last name
I
IWUO
W
I
U O I E. Oh,
IWUORIE.
IWUORIE.
Yep.
IWUORIE. Okay, here it is. So you can tell me if I typed it in right. And then Thomas, he's really into languages and countries and all that stuff.
Yes. So I am Igbo. That is our tribe. So I speak a little, even just a little. I can understand it very well. However, as far as like, speaking, it's not as great. I wish it was. But I can speak just a little. Just a little. Just a little.
He's gonna want to hear it. What you got?
Oh, okay. I was like, I feel like this is.
I'm like,
I felt like that was coming. I was
you
like,
might as
damn
well
it,
go
let me.
all. You might as well go.
I was like, don't ask me that. I was like, I know she's gonna throw that at me. But okay, so let me just give you an easy one, like a simple greeting. So, hello, how are you? That's Kedu. And then I'm doing fine. I did my.
I
So we
did.
can do that one. So I'll be like, hey, Kedu, I did my, so
Nice.
kind of like that language. But it's interesting because even within the Igbo language, there's still different dialects. So
Mm-hmm.
some people might be like, Geki mere, like how are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of the same thing as Kedu.
Yeah.
And then, Adima, Adekwama,
Yeah.
I'm fine. It's the same
Yeah.
thing as Adima. So it's like different dialects
Yeah, so
within the
that's like if
Igbo
you like a
language.
Spanish dialect, like a different dialects depending on where you're coming from or whatever year where you at. That's awesome. Yay! So he's happy about that. So
Exactly.
let me see. Oh, she said, "Say hello, friends."
Hmm, let me see. I don't even know how to say friends. Friends is just friends.
So
But
your parents
people
didn't speak
is
when you
Indumadu,
were growing
like
up.
everybody. Uh,
Your parents didn't speak when you were growing
so
up.
no, so if anything, the reason why So the reason why I know Igbo so well is because my grandma, she lived with us for like almost 10 years.
Okay.
So that's how I was able to understand Igbo very well. But as far as like my parents speaking it in the house, no, they spoke English for the most part. And the only time they'll speak Igbo is when they're around their
Their own
own,
people,
you
right?
know.
Yeah, so that is actually
Hmm.
what I find like culturally that if you a lot of times you if you come from another country and you raise your children here in America, you're not teaching them the language. And I also think that's a beautiful thing though if you were to teach them because now they have like two languages. Like like in the Spanish community when I was growing up in like Philadelphia, it was a large Puerto Rican community, and they spoke English. Their parents spoke Spanish, but they didn't speak it to their children. And I don't know if it's the feeling of like you're un-Americanized or whatever, but they don't realize that brings so much knowledge to you and more opportunity. So that now when you get a certain age, so when my children were growing up, they went to a school and it was like a lot. It was very diverse, two mommies, two daddies, different languages. And my friend, she grew up in Mexico and her husband was American, but she said that at home they only spoke Spanish because he met her when he was in the military or something. So he was fluent. They only spoke Spanish in the home and they spoke English outside of the home so that their children could have that double dialect. They can have both of those languages because it brings opportunity, because a lot of languages aren't easy to learn unless it's just an everyday process. You're frozen, Chichi. Okay, so we're going to end our chat.
Yes.
I want everyone to know we are definitely going to be doing our webinar. We'll come up with some more information on that. And I would love to have Chichi on again. Everyone go follow her. Chichi, come back tomorrow and in the comments, put all your information wherever you want people to follow you. Chichi has a great Excel spreadsheet. If you want to, what does your spreadsheet do? Chichi, I'm like, look, if you want to.
Oh, so you guys, so my spreadsheet helps you track your sales report. So it just helps you track your numbers, how much you've made, your inflow, your outflow. And it also helps you understand or analyze your business as far as where are some gaps that you need to fill, what are some brands that are selling the most. So it just helps you with all that whole analysis portion of just growing your business in general. So not only organizing, but as far as growing also.
Good stuff. Well, Chi, I am
Thank
so glad you
you.
could come on today. I entertained
Yo,
you in the
thank
first
you.
half hour, and I was like, "Where is
Thank
she?"
you.
But I'm
No,
definitely
Leslie, thanks. Like, first of all, you guys, let me just say this real quick because Leslie's awesome. She's dope. I like how she gives people opportunities, how she has this platform and she's just doing these things. I'm really glad that I met her. She's definitely inspirational. I love her hustle. I love her drive. If anything, I feel like she's like my posh mentee. Which is something that I was looking for when I first started. But it was like all the people that I met here, I just, we didn't like click like that, And so it's like when I met Leslie, I was like, oh, she gets it. Like, she gets it. She gets the hustle, and building, knowing what it's like to build a community. And I was just like, yo, she's dope. Like, so if anything, you inspire me. Your page inspires me. How you're so creative. You just do different things. And when something falls short, you pick up something else. And I'm like, yo, that's dope. That's cool. So I really love you for this, for doing this, and for bringing me on. Like every time when you do something, you bring me on, and I feel so, special. I just feel like, oh, I'm just here floating, doing whatever. But obviously, you see something else. So
yeah. Well, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. Well, you were saying you see me as a mentor. So what you're supposed to do with anyone that you make a connection with, you bring them beside you, right? And it's great to be a leader, but if you bring somebody next to you, they learn as you learn, they grow as you grow. So I think that's really what it's about for us to inspire. You see something in me, and I definitely see something in you. So, that's what I'm all about. My new phrase is like, look, let's keep the conversation going. As we go, you can come on anytime. I'm here, and maybe come on with Thomas and I. He loves conversation. He loves to get deep into things. I married a man who was 11 10, 9, 10, 11 during the civil rights, movement. So we were talking about this last night. What do you see that's different than what, because he would see the marches and all that, and where people come and raid his house and stuff like that. So he's been through what we're going through now. It's a little bit stronger and a little bit more powerful, because more people can walk together. And that's really what the community is about to me, us coming together, with a common goal. I'm like, if I know somebody who can help you, I'm going to, do that. Like, I love how Danielle and Lori got together, and just different people. And that's what it's about for me. I get just a great feeling from it, and just an awesome community. So I definitely appreciate your words. They mean a lot to me. This whole everything has totally surprised and humbled me at the same time. Some days I'm like, wow. Some days I'm like, wow. And then some days I'm like, okay. So
and that's cool. That's good. You still gotta, it's not even about being like prideful, but it's just acknowledging the fact that you reached a certain level after, you worked so hard.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of taking a step back and saying, oh, wow, you did awesome. Look at you. Look at where you are right now, type of deal. Yeah. And that's cool. It's okay to do that.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing, especially when my husband starts saying it, like, you what? Like, that's the beautiful thing to me, when he was like, wow, I didn't even, or then when he starts like telling his family when we're on, and they're going like, wow, your wife is like, so that to me is like, or my parents are going like, wow, Leslie. So that is a beautiful thing, to have her here and still seeing, at 50, when your parents say to you, you still have a long way to go, and I'm like, wow. No, and in a good way though. Like, my father's like, okay, I'm waiting on the book, and my mother's like, you're gonna be rich and famous. So it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. So everyone, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. Your last words to everyone, Chichi.
Yo, you guys, just be great. Stay faithful, stay strong, hang in there. And just because it's where you started doesn't mean that's where you end. And also with what's going on, just make sure you guys are aware. And if there's any way that you can try to support the mission, support the motive. That's what it's all about equality. And so since we're on this platform and we're all coming together, let's just continue that movement. So any way that you can to support, let's do it. Make sure you follow me at Chichi I Worry. I also have my template up on Etsy. So if you go on Chi Sleekwear, you'll be able to see it on my website. And Leslie, once again, thank you so much for inviting me out. The conversation was dope. I always love talking, especially since this is Brown Girl Edition. So that's dope. You can call it Brown Girl Bald Edition.
For real, I put that in my comments. I put that in my comments like two.
Yeah, Brown Girl Bald Edition. Yup. So this was cool. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in, for watching us. And I really appreciate it. So let's keep in contact. Follow me, I'll follow back. And yeah, y'all have a great night.
Thanks, friends.